it's Dave. Welcome back to my channel. Today it is a blizzard outside. I just snowblowed the driveway, and I'm probably going to do it in about 2 more hours. I figured I would come in, shoot something quick, and edit it. I had a few students this week that we went over the song All Right Now by Free, and I wanted to show the way that I play it, and then I'll show the way Paul Kossoff plays it, which is very similar. It's just a finger position thing, but I just figured I would show you if you want to know the way he does it. I'm just going to show you the main riff and the chorus, not the solo parts or all that. It's all relatively real easy to figure out, but I think this part, there's something to it. So I'm going to show you the way I do it, then I'll show you the way Paul Kossoff does it, and then what way he did it, and then we'll go from there. So the song is played basically like in centers around A. It's not in A major because the G is natural, so really it's technically in the key of D. But for the modal nerds out there, this is A Mixolydian. For everybody else, this is the key of D centered in A. So basically we start with an A chord, and it's played like this. And he kind of lets the pick, slide through it. It's not like just it's a nice little slow. And then it goes to this, this D where you add the D and the F sharp. So it's that's basically the first part of the thing. That Paul Kossoff and I play the same way. The next part is a little different. So what I do here is I play the same chord as this, but I lift my first finger and I play the bass note, and then it's then with the finger down again. Real simple. This would be like an A to D, A, all over an A. So it'd be D over A to A. This you could look at this like a see, there's no 7, right? So a D add 9 and 11. Back to and that's 90% of the whole song. The rest, the way Paul Kossoff plays that section, and I've watched him play it live on a few clips. There's only a few clips of him playing it live. There's like Isle of Wight, and then there's some show. But and on the show, he's only playing. He's not playing this part, but on the record, you can clearly hear there's 2 guitars on each side. So I assume that one of them he probably just played the power chord this instead of. Which I'm sure he did on the other side. I didn't really listen to Break Up the Parts, but I just know when I watched him play it. So he's playing. The next chord he plays is, and it's funny because it's like if I play an A11 chord, I always play it here. And everyone I see play it always adds the bass note. And that's all he's doing. So he's going. And so for this chord, he puts his pinky on the A. And the A is muted. And I don't know why he does it. Maybe because he's playing and he's standing in front of his huge Marshall and he's trying to keep the strings muted somewhat and has control over it. But he's going. That's how he's playing it. Which is the same exact notes. His is. Mine is same. So it's just how he likes to play it. And then this next part I play a certain way, and I think it's mainly because I was a Kiss fan growing up and I learned Cold Gin before I learned any other classic rock songs. And Cold Gin is somewhat Ace Frehley's take on All Right Now. I mean, if it's like. So that's where I always played it, because he has that melody. And so I play, which is F sharp to E, to G, so it's A, like an A power chord, to a G, and then drop the bass note down to a F sharp to a D. Again, the way Paul Kozoff plays it, which I was surprised when I saw him play it, is he's playing it up here. You know, so he's playing it up in the 12th fret position, which I thought was odd because when I like it the way it sounds with the low bass string, though. You know, it's like, and he's just playing. But whatever. I mean, this is the right way, and this is just the way I play. Just out of years of comfort and playing Cold Gin, I just always assumed that's where it was when I heard it because it sounded like Cold Gin to me. I'm like, oh, it's got to be the same. And then when I went to teach it, I realized that it wasn't. So, so that's basically the whole song. Then there's, always, there's the little guitar solo, which you can figure out on your own. It's real basic. And then the whole part goes. All that. Relatively basic. I am a Kozoff fan. I think Free was a great band. Obviously, I don't think they're as good as Bad Company for my taste because I grew up. Bad Company was more in my youth. Free was a little bit before my time. But, I just wanted to show that song because I see a lot of people play it. I see people play it like... it's not right. It's that jangle in there of the F sharp and the G together. And that nice. And for those wondering, I'm using a Fender Mustang 2 version 2 amplifier plugged into USB. And, it's a pretty good sound I'm getting. It's like the Marshall sound. It's like a Marshall combo sound that I have, that I'm using. And this is the B-Bender, and I'm using, and it's on the Area Telly Bridge by DiMarzio pickup. And it's got a pretty nice sound, considering he played a Les Paul. I'm going to take the guitar off and then talk about some other stuff. Lately I've been listening to quite a little bit of, going back to stuff that I used to listen to back when I was young and first getting into Steely Dan. I really got into Gino Vannelli. And, I really think he gets a bad shake because if you listen to, there's two albums that I think are must-listens to by Gino Vannelli. One is Brother to Brother. I think the album's brilliant. I think Carlos Rios' guitar work is just awesome on it. I think the drumming of Mark Craney on that album is sensational, and the songs are just great. I think it's a fantastic album. And then the album after that is Nightwalker, which is Mike Miller on guitar, does a great job, but more than that, Vinnie Colaiuta on drums on that album is just, it's sick. That album is just sick, and the songs are great. Very pop-oriented jazz, like Steely Dan, I would say. So I would say that's a record to check out. And, people have commented on a lot of things. I'm getting a lot of comments lately, which is great. I love it. Some stuff I'm going to respond to, and some stuff I just smile and I put that I like it. And when I check that I like it, I'm really just saying that I saw it. Some people will start arguing about, Tone Woods and stuff like that. I'm not even going to get into that argument, really. Although somebody did mention about the guitar nut, saying that it matters on the open strings. It doesn't. It's impossible. And if it did, you would hear the open strings sound different on a bone nut than on any other nut. You can't hear the difference. I can't listen to a record and tell you if it's a steel nut, if it's a roller nut, if it's bone, if it's plastic, if it's corian. I would have no idea. And I would bet anybody that they can't tell. This is where the arguments begin, because as a player, we're listening to the guitar while we play it. And yes, the way a brass nut couples the wood and the guitar like really vibrates because there's that nut. It's enjoyable for the player. That's not what I'm talking about. Of course you have a preference of a nut. If you think a bone nut feels better when you're playing and you like the way it feels and the way the guitar sustains in your hand, play it. Coming out of that amplifier, it doesn't make any difference. You're not going to get more tone. You're not going to get anything that you think you're hearing when you're playing the guitar. But that doesn't mean that it's not a tangible thing that you enjoy on the guitar, because of course it is. Everything is tangible. I mean, I like the way the Strat knobs are versus a Tele knob because I feel like I can grab them better and I feel like I play better. Also, the position of where the knobs are, I like better. So, I mean, I like that instrument better. Does it make the instrument sound better? No. Does it make me play better? Maybe. I feel comfortable. But the bottom line is what's coming out of the amplifier. And that's really where the big split is with people, because people assume, well, there's a tangible, noticeable difference when playing it, therefore there has to be a tangible, noticeable difference coming out of the amplifier, and it's just not true. That being said, I still get a ton of comments about it. And that's fine. Everyone has a right to an opinion, but this is a scientific fact. And, I'm not going to argue it. So anyways, I think also I'm getting, my neck should be coming in soon from Warmoth, and I'm going to do a little bit more talking about my guitars, what I do to them. Almost all of them have stainless frets. I think I've showed this one here before. This is my B Bender Telecaster. So the B string gets wired through the bridge to the back, and then it has this contraption. And this contraption, this big metal thing, basically makes it so I can pull the B string up. So, Zeppelin used it on All My Love, and ton of country guys use it. You can see this is a Warmoth neck. I have a truss rod adjustment down here, as well as there's one at the butt. This is a dark rosewood over a boat neck, so it's kind of somewhat of a V. You can kind of see that it comes to a point, and there's no skunk stripe, so the truss rod was put in under the fingerboard, and it's a slab board. I took off the other Fender neck. It was no good, and I put a 70s logo on it, and you can see that I also put the serial number that was originally on the original guitar. But it's one of my favorites. I love this guitar. It's got jumbo frets, and I looked up on Warmoth's site yesterday, and they're claiming that their jumbo frets for stainless are 6100s, but when I looked at the technical specs of it and the measurements, they're 6000s, which I prefer anyway. So I love that I can get 6000s in stainless from Warmoth. And, I highly recommend doing a Warmoth build for anyone that's a Strat or Tele player. I think you're going to find you can make the dream instrument that you always wanted. It's great. There's also some other great small builders. I mentioned Rebel Relic before. They're out of Amsterdam. You can go on their website. Luke is awesome, and he'll make anything you want, and his prices are great. But I'll go more into my guitars and talk more about that. And you guys can't really hear what's going on out there, but the wind is going nuts. I mean, there is a lot of snow today. I went and snowblowed. What time is it now? So I was out there at 2. It was probably 9 or 10 inches already. I mean, it was crazy. And I'm expecting it to be 4 or 5 more. So that'll be a little bit easier to snowblow. But, if there's songs you want to hear or request, I also had a request recently for a personal lesson, and I do that as well. If there's something you have in mind, that's cool. I could also do like Skype lessons and whatnot, but I mean, you could also just tell me what you want to see here, and if I can help, I'll try to help and do it. I got to get back out in this storm and do all that, so I'm going to cut this one short. Very good.
How's that for a topper?
You're right on target.
Right on the money. Everything you said.
You hit the nail right on the head with your comments, what you're saying today.
You're 150% correct.